My name is Orly Sade, and I'm from the finance department at the business school. And today I'm going to discuss with you crowdfunding. Sorry. So what is crowdfunding mechanism? What is it for? This mechanism enables the financing of a venture, an idea, or a good cause by the crowd. Each contributes very little. However, the sum of it makes the difference. But then you can tell me, hey, what is new here? We are well familiar with that mechanism, right? We are using it for a very long time, and so many things in this country were actually financed that way. So what is news? What is new? Actually, the leverage of the internet, the social network, to establish the platform that we can actually raise the money, and to give everyone the information about that. In addition to that, beyond charity, there is now different mechanisms that I'm going to describe in a minute that use that method. So under the umbrella of crowdfunding, there are actually different mechanisms, and what differentiates them is what the backer or the investor receive in return to their contribution. There is the lending model, the equity model, the reward model, the donation model, and the hybrid model, which is a combination. I know that I didn't explain it in a second. So the lending model. What is the lending model? In the lending model, the contributor, the backer, the investor receive an interest rate. It is like a loan. You can actually borrow from the crowd, and each investor can actually finance many loans. We have several interesting platforms in Israel right now that are actually using that peer-to-peer mechanism or the lending model. E-loan, B2B, Tarya, Fundit, etc. What is the equity model? As the name implies, the investor or the backers receive equity, stocks, share, partial ownership in that particular venture. In Jerusalem right now, we actually have a very interesting equity crowdfund platform, which is Our Crowd. So what is the reward model? As the name implies, the contributor or the backers receive a reward. That reward can be the product that will be produced, but it can be lots of other things, from a thank you note to being an executive producer in a film or participate in that particular film that you are helping to create. And last, the donation model is a charity. What the investors or the backers or the contributors receive is the good feeling that you actually help something that you care about. This year, for the first time, the Hebrew University decided to join the trend of crowdfunding, and they are actually going to launch a crowdfunding campaign. You will receive a lot of information about that later on, and I was told that you will also receive information to your event app. But here, I'll take a moment to do a bit of a propaganda. Remember that in order for a crowdfunding campaign to succeed, we need a crowd. So please, use your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, email, the phone, your voice, and tell the world about it. That's where we can actually reach the crowd and make a difference. I'm the only female finance tenured professor in research institution or academic institution in Israel. And being such a minority, I cannot stop thinking about female and finance. And when you learn the statistics, it's not that appealing. If you estimate the amount of angels, the female angels, less than 15%. VC partners, even less than 10%. Even if you observe the entrepreneurship arena, not that wonderful. So I was wondering, maybe crowdfunding, because it is a different financing mechanism that actually reach the crowd, may have a potential to democratize more the capital market. While thinking about it, I decided to go and do a research about it. Kickstarter is considered the leading reward crowdfunding platform around the globe. So together with Dan Marom, Hadar Gafni, and Alicia Robb, we decided to collect information. We used web crawlers and collected information from the initiation of Kickstarter until about 3 years later, about more than 16,000 successful projects, more than 4,000 failed projects. We have information about more than 22,000 entrepreneurs and more than 1 million investors, backers. We have information about large projects and small projects. Let me give you 2 examples. So one interesting small project is Number. They raised $6,000. This is a documentary film that talk about Number and its relationship to Holocaust survivors. So if you gave $10, you receive a thank you note. However, if you were willing to give $1,000, you could actually make an impact on what will be in the film. The other extreme is Pebble. They raised more than $10 million from substantially more backers. So as I said, these 2 extremes exist. We estimated the probability of male and female to reach the goal. In Kickstarter, you either reach the goal or get nothing. So from our perspective, a successful campaign needs to reach the goal. Female controlling for all other factors, their probability of reaching the goal was higher. So they were more successful in getting the money via this platform. And as a result of this research, you can see we made the news all over, from the Wall Street Journal to whatever. And there was a lot of hope that maybe this is something exciting that can make a difference. I must be honest and tell you that in addition to this maybe positive news, overall female participated less in the platform as entrepreneurs and as investors. And in addition to that, they participated in a very, very stereotyped areas. They were dominating dance, food, fashion, technology. So yes, there is a progress, but I personally would like to see a more diverse area of participation. In addition to that, females were investing in male and female projects. Male mainly in male project. So there is something to be done here as well. Since I'm involved with the research about crowdfunding in the last few years, I'm being asked constantly, do you think this is going to replace the traditional financial market? Is it going to be the only new thing? Personally, I don't think so. I think that this is going to supplement. I think that it can have an additional added value. I think that it can reach new crowd and enable new crowds to participate, but I don't think that it is going totally to replace the old mechanism. It has its advantages as well. And this is actually my wish, not my prediction. We are making progress, not at the pace that I would like with respect to gender equality. My wish that in the next ceremony 100 years from now, we will not have to discuss it. Thank you.